Yes, here we are. We are back for this week's edition of the FocusFit Wellness podcast. And actually, a brand new announcement coming up here. I'll talk about a little bit later here in the podcast, but I will have some exciting news coming out with a new logo, actually, a new name as well. It's very similar to my current name, but kind of wanted to change it up a little bit, make it a little bit fresh and exciting. So, I think everybody will like it. And I'm excited to talk about that here a little bit later. So let's get right into this today. And what I want to talk about here is, how do you see yourself? And I think that's an important question. The reason why I think it's important is because, like I've stated many times, talking here on my previous episodes, as well as some of the posts that I've done in the past on my other social media, is I want to help people who have a long journey ahead with living a healthy lifestyle. And of course, I'm open to helping anybody, as I've said here as well, that anybody who wants to be healthy, stay healthy, anybody, if you're an athlete, anything like that, my doors are open, so to speak, and I'm here to help anybody who wants help. But my main primary focus that I'm going to be, really trying to zero in on all my time and energy is people who have a long journey ahead. If you have 40, 50, 70, 100 plus pounds to lose, you know, these are the people I really want to help. One, I can relate to you. You know, I'm 50 plus pounds down from when I was really at my heaviest. And I know what that feels like to look in the mirror and to go upstairs and to haul all this extra body weight around that maybe you shouldn't be carrying around, and it feels like an un you know a feat that's just unattainable. I know that feeling. Now the difference is, I did know what it's like to be fit at some point. Like I've spoke before, I was an athlete my whole life growing up, all through high school, and so I remember what that was like. My body has muscle memory. I have the memories of what it's like to be fit, to be in shape and in great health. But somewhere along the way, like a lot of us do, I lost it. I got lazy, I got complacent, and really, I didn't have any good eating habits. When I was young, much like most of us, when you're young, you burn off a lot of energy, and so you have youth on your side, and it's easy to kind of keep the weight off as long as you're moving around and staying very active, which I was. And now things are very different. You hit 30 years old. For some people, maybe it's a little bit younger or a little bit older, but right around 30 years old, metabolism starts to slow down. You start to be less active naturally, unless you are actively going to be involved in any kind of sport, athletics, whatever it is you do with your life, whether it's playing soccer on a team, on a club type program, basketball pickup games, whatever it is. And maybe you stay healthy and fit that way, or you go to the gym and you're just a beast. You get on the treadmill, you hit the weights, you do everything, full body workouts. It's all good. But that's a very, very small percentage of people, which is why we're having which is why here in the United States we have a problem with obesity. And the other side of it is the food side, the nutrition side. I think a lot of us have gotten bad information, and that's what I'm here for, is to help those people. But I'll get into that a little bit later. Today, I want to talk about, how do you see yourself? And if you've never ever been able to look at yourself in the mirror and see yourself looking down, looking at the way you fit in your clothes, and never see or even think of yourself as someone who could be fit, someone who can be lean, someone who can be athletic, someone who can be just healthy, then you have a much bigger hill to climb. Because the first thing that you need to do is to see yourself in the best possible version of what you can be. And that's so hard. And I know a lot of people don't relate to that. There's people that are just naturally thin or naturally athletic, and it's easy for them to shed off weight. They just kind of have a high metabolism. And they look at someone else and think, well, they don't have the discipline. They're not doing what it takes. And maybe that's correct. I've often said that in my in my findings as well. And there's definitely an aspect of that. But what a lot of people don't realize is what it feels like to not ever, 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 ever know what it's like to be lean, what it's like to be fit, what it's like to be strong, what it's like to be athletic and just look a certain way that's, whether it's just more aesthetically pleasing to most people or, um, you know, just what we envision as a healthy individual. And for all of you that are out there, if you're struggling with this, I empathize with you so much. While I did know what it was like to look in the mirror and see somebody who was, very much overweight and very unhealthy, and many, choices in my life, I knew that I could look, healthier. I knew I could look fit and strong and all the other things that I described. And what I don't know and what I'm here to help is, if you don't know what that feels like, if you don't know that that thought, if your muscles don't have the memory of being in shape and doing all the right things, then this is going to be a much bigger thing. So I believe that one of the most important aspects to getting started and to being a healthier individual is visualizing. In sports, they talk about visualization all the time. See yourself winning, see yourself, putting your arms up in the air and holding the trophy and all these things. See yourself the way you're going to win. And if you're a sprinter, it's see yourself, all the strides and moving forward and pumping your arms and doing all the necessary things to make sure that you become, you finish first. And this is something very, very similar. You have to see yourself. You have to believe that you can become somebody who is fit, somebody who is athletic looking, somebody who is leaner, somebody who is just a healthy person. And it doesn't mean you have to fit in a specific body type where, maybe you pick a favorite celebrity or what have you and say, I want to look like that. Maybe that's not your body type. That's okay. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about looking the best that you can look. But beyond looks, the best that you can feel, the best that your body's going to function on a daily basis, doing all the things that we do day in and day out, taking care of your family, going to work, running errands, being involved in activities that you're involved in, being involved in your kids' activities if that's what you're doing, whatever it is, and being able to do that at the highest level possible that you can perform. That's it. That's the goal. And there are ways to do that, and that's what I'm here for as a nutrition coach, as a fitness coach. There are obviously things that you can do to make better food choices, to not intake certain things into your body, and to make sure that you are getting more exercise. Realistically, I believe that's the easier aspect of things, because that's just getting it done. The discipline stuff, sure, that's going to take some dedication, some hard work, especially maybe if you're not someone who really enjoys to work out, doesn't enjoy cooking, maybe the way I do. So for me, it's kind of fun, which makes it easier for me. But I believe that that's kind of the easier aspect than just getting over the initial hurdle of not only seeing yourself, but believing that you deserve it, believing that you absolutely can be fit. You absolutely can be lean. You absolutely can be strong. You absolutely can be athletic. That's a hard thing to do for people who've never had that life, just never had that life. And when I say athletic, I don't mean, you're going to step onto a field, step onto a court somewhere, walk onto a track and just start, running everybody down, start, draining basketball, hoops on everybody on the, out there at the playground. That's not what I'm talking about. When I say athletic, that means you have the ability to move your body around, to do athletic movements. And it could be something simple as just doing squats and lunges, or maybe it's something doing some sprints, running up hills. Maybe it's more Olympic style, movements, kind of a clean and jerk type movement. These are all athletic movements. These are things that your body can do athletically to perform at a high level. And it gets your body, accustomed to building strong, lean muscle, burning fat off your body. And these are the things that as you start getting into it, 30 days in, 90 days in, 6 months in, a year in, your body will start becoming accustomed to all these types of movements. You will become more athletic. You don't have to be a natural athlete to become more athletic. But you have to believe that you can do it. You have to believe that you could become one of these people. And if you've never been that ever in your life, it's going to be hard. I think that's where a lot of people kind of trip themselves up and stop. They get off their diet, and then maybe they say things like, well, the diet's too hard, and I don't like this type of food, and I don't have the time to meal prep, and I don't have time to go to the grocery store all the time. And I feel like these are all just kind of the obstacles that we allow get in our way, because the real answer is, I don't see myself as fit. I don't see myself as a lean person. I don't see myself as an athlete or a healthy individual, because maybe our mindset is such that we believe that we have to look a certain way. You have to look like a professional football player or a professional wrestler or MMA fighter. It doesn't have to be that way. You just need to be the healthiest and the best version of yourself. Now, I will say from the very beginning, I always recommend going to see your doctor. If you don't have a doctor, you should definitely find a primary care physician. That way you can go and talk with them about maybe some of the health problems that you've been having, and order get some blood work done. See if you're deficient in any of your vitamins in your body. Make sure all of your organs are functioning properly, making sure all the minerals that you're supposed to have within your body, that you have sufficient levels all the way across the board there as well. And maybe they can help guide you to certain foods maybe to stay away from, and certain foods that you definitely need to intake more, because maybe you need more iron, maybe you need more protein, whatever it is. And as a nutrition coach, I can help with certain foods, but I also need to have a good baseline of where to start. And so maybe some things that you should or should not be eating. So like I said, we'll put that aside for now. But the main thing is, when you look in the mirror, when you look down at yourself and check yourself out, and look at yourself inside clothes and outside of clothes, doesn't matter. When you close your eyes and you see yourself, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself just the way as you're sitting or standing right now? Can you even see yourself as somebody who can do these other athletic movements that I was talking about? Can you see yourself doing sprints and doing 10, 40-yard dash sprints, and being tired, but not being so winded that you feel like you're going to pass out, or putting your cardiovascular or respiratory system at risk? Can you run up some hills? Can you do some Olympic weightlifting type movements? Can you do 25 push-ups in one sitting? Just drop down, do 25 push-ups, no problem. All these types of movements. Can you see yourself doing these things? And if you can't, you have to figure out how. You have to start looking at yourself as someone who can overcome and can be more than what you are today. You can do more. You can achieve more. You can become more. And this has nothing to do with your worth as a human being, your worth as a father, as a husband or wife, or a sibling, or a son or a daughter. I'm not talking about any of this. This has to do with your overall underlying health. How can you perform at the max capabilities that your body has to offer? And if you were born with some kind of ailment, some kind of maybe muscular degenerative disease, or maybe some kind of bone disease, hey, look, these things are real, and there's people out there that are struggling with all these types of ailments. But even some of them, they figure out ways to still try to be healthy to the healthiest of their ability. They go see their doctor consistently. They get blood work done consistently. They do checkups consistently, and they alter their diet and their workout programs to make sure that they're becoming and maintaining the healthiest versions. And that's what we're talking about here. But you have to see it. You have to believe it. If you don't, doesn't matter what I offer, doesn't matter what any professional trainer or anybody out there can offer you. It doesn't matter. If you don't believe it, if you can't see it, if you can't close your eyes and envision the way you're going to look as you're doing these athletic movements, as you're running up hills, as you're doing clean and press type movements, and squats and deadlifts and all these other things, if you can't see yourself doing it and looking in the mirror and being proud of who you are and being proud of the work that you're putting in, all the nutrition advice that I give, all the fitness and functional training advice that me or anybody else could give, it's not going to matter. I promise you it's not going to matter, because you will decide for yourself that you don't deserve to look and feel and become the healthiest person possible that you can be. You'll sabotage yourself. I know, because I've done it. I've done it many times. You know, back when I was at my unhealthiest, I would start to lose a little weight, and then I would say, "Oh, something came up, and you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna, be overweight. You know what? It's not important. I'm getting older. I'm in my you know early to mid 30s. Who cares by now? It doesn't matter. Well, now here I am, 10 years later, 44 years old, and I'm healthier than I've ever been. Probably even in high school. So, but you have to decide. You have to choose. You have to just say, I deserve to be the best version of myself, and not just for myself, for my family, for my kids, for my future grandkids, or my current grandkids, whatever it is, wherever you are on this path, you got to decide that. And if you do, I'll make you a promise. If you decide that and you truly believe it, and you're willing to get up every single day and put forth the effort, me and there's many great people that are out there that can help you achieve your goals and get to where you need to be, and make you the strongest, the healthiest, the most capable individual that you can be. And then once you really start getting healthier, you'll really start seeing where you can go with it, how far you can push yourself. I've seen people lose a bunch of weight and go on to win, medals and all kinds of different things and activities that they get involved in. Maybe they get involved in um, like I said, a sprinting. They start doing kind of like races, for clubs and things like that. Maybe they become part of a soccer team, a club soccer team. Maybe they become part of a club basketball team. Whatever it is, that you enjoy and that you're involved in. And maybe you can just go play with your kids on the playground, not get tired. You don't have to watch from the bench on the side and just kind of cheer them on. You can get out there and get on the swings with them, chase them around, throw the football with them, play soccer with them, do all the fun stuff. That's what it's about. You don't have to sit on the sidelines anymore. You can be active. You can be involved. And not only that, but your body's functioning properly. You stop feeling as bad as you used to feel. Your internals, everything's functioning properly. All the way down to the cellular level of your body. Everything is working the way it's supposed to be working. And that's where I want to help you get to be. But you have to believe it. You have to believe that you deserve it. And you have to see yourself as that human before you ever get there. If you can't see yourself, I promise you, it's probably not going to work. It doesn't matter what I offer, what anybody offers. It's probably not going to be there. You have to believe it. You have to see it. And you have to be convinced that you deserve to be that human being. And that's what it is. And like I said, all the nutrition stuff, I'll get to that on a whole separate podcast. I don't want to even go into it today, because that's kind of the everyday, getting it done and that kind of thing. And once you decide, though, if you take this time wherever you are, and if you decide, I'm ready, I deserve it, and I'm going to do the work, and I can see myself as this person, then that's what I'm here for. Then you and I will talk, whether we talk through Zoom, we do a person-to-person consult, whatever it is, and we will figure out the right plan for you and get you on that path and get you to hit your goals and where you need to be. But first, you need to look in the mirror before you contact me or anybody else. You've got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I can be healthy. I can be fit. I can be lean. I can be strong. I can be athletic. I can be all these wonderful things. And I'm going to make the choice to do what it takes to make sure that this comes to fruition, that this person that I can see, I see it in my dreams. I see it when I stop and think about things. When I look in the mirror, I can see that person on the inside, and that's who I'm going to become. And I'm ready to do the work. And as soon as that happens, you'll start seeing miracles. So that's my message for this week, is how do you see yourself? And if you can only see yourself the way you are right now physically, and that you're someone who gives up, someone who says it's too hard, someone who finds the excuse instead of finds the reason why you can do it, well, then you have to be willing to accept the consequences of those decisions. I can't help with that aspect of it. I can provide you all the nutrition advice in the world, but if you have already decided that you can't become that person, well, then I can't help you. Nobody can help you. Nobody could have helped me. I had to help myself. I had to make that decision for myself, and that was the only way. And once I realized that, and once I took responsibility for that, it's actually, you think that by taking on that responsibility yourself, you feel like maybe you think about, oh, well, that's putting too much pressure on myself. It actually does the opposite. It actually takes the weight off of you. That weight of feeling guilty, of feeling like, yeah, I know I should, but I just haven't done it yet. Or, yeah, I'll do it next week. Yeah, I'll do it next month. Yeah, I'll do it at the beginning of 2021 because 2020 was so hard. Whatever it is, whatever, all these excuses. We all have the excuses. I've made plenty of excuses. I still make excuses every so often why I don't work out or why I choose a certain food to eat. Um, I don't do it very, very often, but I'm still guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. I mean, it is what it is. But the goal is to overcome, keep finding ways to overcome those things, to keep bouncing back no matter what, coming back to where I know I need to get here. This is where I get to get back to. But I had to decide for myself and choose to make that conscious decision to say, I am going to be healthy. I don't know what it's going to take. I believe it's going to take this, and this is what I'm going to do. And you find out it takes this as well, and you keep going down that path. And you can find out you got to go down this path too, and you go down that path too. But whatever the obstacles that keep coming up are, you just keep finding ways over and around them. That's it. That's the journey. But it's fun. It's exciting. And when you start seeing the results, when you start feeling the results, I remember one of the things that I did, I would lay down before, or actually I'd sit down on the couch and I would put my hand on my gut. I used to have a big old gut, and my hand would stop like way out here. And then as I started losing a little bit of weight, and then my hand got a little bit closer, I was like, oh wow, okay, this feels kind of cool. And then one day I went like this, and I'm like, holy cow, my hand goes all the way down here. This is great. Like I didn't even realize kind of what was going on until I did this. I was so used to my hand stopping way out here, you know, all of a sudden it dropped all the way down here. I'm like, this is fantastic. And once you get those little wins, you start seeing all these little things. Maybe you tighten your belt down, you get one notch in, you're like, oh, this is where my belt notch is now. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're buying a new belt. Now I have to go buy some new clothes. I mean, it's kind of nerve wracking going to buy new clothes because you're like, I got to buy a whole new wardrobe here. Nothing fits me. Everything's draping on me. Everything's too big. Everything's too baggy. But that's a good problem to have. The financial stuff, we'll talk about that and figure that stuff out later. But let's get this part done first. So you have to decide. But I promise you, it won't be like extra weight coming on your back. It actually releases the weight off your back to say, I got this now. This is on me. I've decided, I'm taking responsibility, and now I'm moving forward. That's it. And then you contact me, you contact somebody else, and that's what they do, another nutrition coach or fitness coach, and get going, get started. But first, make that decision. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself when you look down, and close your eyes. How do you envision yourself? And the moment you can close your eyes and open them and see that strong, healthy, vibrant individual, that's when it's time to make that change. That's when it's time to hit it hard, get that good nutrition advice, get those fitness workouts in, figure out how to plan your days around making sure that you can live the healthiest lifestyle possible. It's going to take some readjusting some of your schedule. Some of the other things it's going to take, and I'll tell you this is something that most people won't tell you. Okay. This is one of the, I want to call it dirty little secrets, but this is one of the things that you don't really expect to happen when you decide you're going to take on a journey of this magnitude. If you got 40, 50, 100 pounds to lose, you're going to start to see some people in your life that you love and care about. They're going to try to knock you off that path. And sometimes they don't even realize that they're doing it on purpose, because they see you trying to achieve something so big, so just astronomical. And maybe they think they're doing you a favor saying, hey, I don't want you to be let down. Don't, you know what? Don't set your goals too high. Don't get your hopes up. It may not happen for you. You may not look the way you think you're going to look. And sometimes they say that thinking they're helping you because they don't want you, they don't want you to feel bad if you don't reach that goal, or if you don't reach it in the time frame that you think that you want to reach it in. But these are the people I've had to eliminate. Some people in my life that were that crabs in a bucket, right? Trying to pull you down back into the bucket. Some people you have to eliminate. Some people you just have to keep your distance from a little bit. And some people you just have to, okay, you listen to them, you let it roll off your back, and you keep plowing forward. Some people we still want to keep in our everyday life, but we can't let those people and the words that they say affect our goals, because we're the ones that have to take on, the consequences for those actions of falling short and letting them dictate our success. But I will tell you, it's going to be a struggle. And maybe people within your own household, your kids, your spouse, if you live with maybe some parents or some other relatives, maybe they're, trying to hold you back. And like I said, it's not even on purpose. It's just they feel like they're trying to spare your feelings. They're trying to spare you the heartache of falling short. But for me, I turn those things into motivation. Tell me I can't do it, I'm going to show you that I can. Tell me it's going to take too long, I'm going to show you I'm going to do it faster. Tell me it's going to be too hard, I'm going to be harder. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be more mentally ready for all those obstacles, including people. And that's okay. Just as long as you know how to handle those people and handle those situations, you're going to be fine. But make that choice. Close your eyes. Look in the mirror. Look down at yourself. What do you see? And once you see that strong, healthy, athletic person, now it's time to get started. And that's what we're here for. So that is the message here this week. Thank you guys for listening. I got some more fire coming here next week. I got, actually, I said I was going to do it on this podcast, but I won't. I'm actually going to do an announcement here in the next couple of days with a new name. I probably will have a whole new logo, everything. I got some more exciting news coming up. I don't want to give anything away, but it should be dropping here very, very soon. So hopefully within the next week or two, it's going to be exciting. I'm so pumped about it, and maybe just in time for Christmas here. So thank you guys for watching. This is this week's episode number 4 of the FocusFit Wellness podcast. New name coming, because I know that one doesn't flow very well. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week. If you guys have any comments or anything you want to share, please send them to me. You can leave them in the comments below on the YouTube channel, or you can send them to my social media pages. I'm more than happy to answer any questions or to discuss maybe any other topics that you guys think I should be discussing as well, and that maybe you want to hear me elaborate more on here coming up in the future. So thank you guys again. Have a great night. Keep kicking ass out there. Stay healthy, be healthy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.